windstorms are over, but cleanup is just getting started, and Southern California Edison on the hot seat about long power outages. Also, fewer floats in the upcoming Rose Parade, plus CCN Weather and Sports next. CCN Crown City News. I'm Tami in for Sunita. She's under the weather. Your news, your neighborhood, seconds away.
Hi, I'm Jesse Avila at the Convalescent Aid Society, a nonprofit organization established in 1923. We provide the free loan of durable medical equipment, of hospital beds, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, and many other items. Your donations and contributions are welcome and greatly appreciated. We are located at 3255 East Foothill Boulevard in Pasadena.
We're here to help you!
Please give us a call and check for availability at 626-793-1696.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching CCN Crown City News, your neighborhood. I'm Tami DeVine. The recent windstorm has been one of the biggest disasters here locally in quite a while. And it's been so bad, Governor Jerry Brown declared a state of emergency throughout Los Angeles County, and that'll help cities dig out from the debris and help residents recover. This past week, County Supervisor Michael Antonovich and Congressman Adam Schiff both lashed out at Southern California Edison for what they said was a slow response in the recovery efforts. The State Public Utilities Commission is investigating, and SCE is here to respond. But first, Pasadena city officials are saying it's going to take a long time to clean up after these windstorms. CCN's Natalie Tavidian has the latest on Pasadena's recovery, and she's here live with more. Natalie, lots to dig out of, isn't
it?
It
is, and it's taking quite a time to get everything cleaned up. Pasadena city officials say it will still take several months to clean up after the massive windstorms of November 30th and December 1st. And today's rains may only make matters worse. We spoke with City of Pasadena officials who say they won't know how much the cleanup efforts will cost, and that those numbers won't be available for a while, though estimates go as high as $75 million.
The recent massive windstorm left this bakery without electricity for 4 days, but some of their customers in the neighborhood were in the dark for even longer, 6 days.
They were very sad. They had, they couldn't do laundry, they were cold. A lot of our customers are elderly, so that is a very big issue. Medications need to be refrigerated, so there's a host of problems for the elderly.
Several cities in the San Gabriel Valley declared a state of emergency after trees and power lines fell, blocking streets, damaging homes and cars, and leaving many in the dark for days. The emergency declaration provides approved state and federal resources to help residents. Pasadena Public Information Officer Ann Erdman says although city officials planned for heavy winds, the Santa Anas were much worse than expected.
I don't think that anybody expected Stage 3 hurricane winds.
The total cost of the windstorm remains unclear for many San Gabriel Valley cities. Once those figures come in, the city will apply for emergency funds.
Once the total costs come in, and again, that may be some time, then the city of Pasadena will be applying to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, as well as CalEMA, which is the California Emergency Management Agency. One is state, one is federal, for reimbursement of some, if not all, of those costs.
Erdman says the winds were a tough reminder to be prepared. She says unless there is a life-threatening case where paramedics need to be called immediately, residents should gather emergency kits with 3 days worth of supplies for everyone in the household.
Yes, there were some people who were out for 5 days. Relatively speaking, that's not a long time. We train neighborhoods to become their own first responders during this first 72 hours and perhaps longer after any natural disaster or any other kind of emergency event.
Gossett says the owner of the bakery saved money by acting quickly, buying 280 pounds of ice to save their food from going bad. She says businesses like this try, but find it difficult to completely prepare for natural disasters that cause so much damage.
Well, we looked into getting a generator, but the odds of it happening again aren't. I mean, they've had power outages before, and they used the ice like this time. So they've been prepared by other times, but never had been out for 4 days. Never had our neighbors lost it for a week.
All Pasadena residents should have electric services restored by now. City officials say there are still a number of residents without power, though, but that's due to private property damage and house wiring. LA County Supervisor Michael Antonovich says he urges Southern California Edison to provide an emergency management system that includes more customer and community involvement. Tami, one other thing that residents should look out for is also scams going on by people coming into these private homes to replace their electricity.
Pretending to be contractors and even probably public officials. Thank you very much for that report, Natalie. And residents do need to contact a licensed electrician for those repairs. You can visit the city's homepage for more storm recovery information. That website is cityofpasadena.net. Let's keep going on the storm damage. Nearly a week after the windstorms, tens of thousands of Southern California Edison customers were still without power, and local officials blasted the energy company. 5th District Supervisor Mike Antonovich was at the forefront, saying Southern California Edison wasn't well prepared for the natural disaster. Well, SCE's Dave Ford is here live to tell us their side of the story. Thanks so much for being here, Dave. Appreciate it.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, this was a
Tami.
tough situation, wasn't it, for a lot of people?
Yes, absolutely. This was a very challenging storm that came through the area on November the 30th with hurricane winds of 100 miles per hour. When it came through the area, it knocked down trees, debris blowing all over the place. Which inadvertently caused many of our power lines to go down because of the trees falling on our poles.
What would you say took so long to get the power up? As you heard us mention, the Supervisor Mike Antonovich, Adam Schiff's office, were very vocal about getting the power restored, and they were saying that it was taking a very long time.
Well, the challenge was with the amount of wind that came through the area, 100 miles an hour hurricane wind, knocked down several trees, large, tall trees that had been, in the area for quite some time. This massive stretch of the storm damage was roughly from Locker Center all the way up to Laverne, and the amount of trees that failed impacted our restoration efforts. It hampered it quite a lot because we had to go in and remove debris, remove the trees from the power lines, and once the tree falls on a power line, the weight of the tree will bring a power line down, poles, and it's domino effect.
Yeah, and part of the criticism was that it did take so long for the power to come back, and Supervisor Antonovich saying, well, you guys weren't very well prepared. Was Edison prepared for a storm like this?
Well, the magnitude of this type of storm, going into the area and making assessments and trying to get to our distribution system to restore service, the first thing we had to do was remove debris from the area that was impacted. There were many roads that were blocked because trees were falling over roads and hampered our restoration efforts. However, we had crews working around the clock. We had many of our repair people work 24 hours with 8 hours off. We had 1,000 of local Edison employees working to restore service. That was our highest priority, was safety and restoration of service.
Part of the criticism here, I think, has been that maybe the right-of-ways were not cleared, the trees were not cleared and kept trimmed in the county areas that SCE services off of the power lines. Is that something that will change for next time?
Well, we're looking at ways in which we can improve looking at best practices in this process. I mean, I'm sure certainly there are things that we can do better, and we're certainly going to look for ways in which to do that while we're continuing to work with local agencies, federal, state, and local agencies, working with the county governments to find ways in which we can communicate better during a storm of this nature or any other type of storm or challenge that we would have that would hamper our distribution system.
Okay, and for full disclosure out there, Southern California Edison is a sponsor of Crown City News, but we have so many people in the San Gabriel Valley that watch us that we felt it was important to get you on here to give that point of view, since we've heard all through the week the public officials' points of view on this. We do have to go. I want to thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And how can people learn more about what to do if they're still being impacted?
Well, if there is an outage and it does take place, and you notice power lines falling or that have failed and on the ground, number one, you should call 911. Secondly, contact our emergency number, which is 1-800-611-1911. I'll repeat that again. It is 1-800-611-1911. You know, with the impact of this storm, we had over 400 and some thousand customers out of power, and every effort was to provide safety for our employees and safety for our customers and restore service.
Is everybody back on?
Yeah, we were able to restore service, but we still want people to be concerned about safety with this rain that is in the area now, this rainstorm. You still want to be safe and conscious about electricity.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Dave. I really appreciate it. Coming up next, the Rose Parade is a major part of Pasadena's rich history, but we might see fewer floats this year in the Rose Parade. Hear what the Tournament of Roses president has to say about that when we come back. You're watching CCN Crown City News, your neighborhood. Don't go away. Unleash your inner shark. Sharky Zartman's book, Shark Sense, reveals the 14 life-changing steps you can take today to start reaching your goals. Through her witty yet no-nonsense approach, Sharky Zartman unlocks the lessons we can all learn from sharks.
I use the shark as a symbol for your inner source of strength and power, the part of you that doesn't know the meaning of the word can't.
Stop settling for less and start living with confidence and purpose. Order Shark Sense today at sharksense.org and get in touch with your inner shark. The Rose Parade is always a highlight of the new year for people all over the country, and it takes place right here in Pasadena. Families camp out overnight in the cold to get a prime seat so they can take in those grand floats that make their way through Pasadena streets. But this tough economy is hitting hard, keeping some cities from building a float for this year's parade. But that doesn't necessarily mean the parade will be any less grand this year, and CCN's TK Trinidad is here live with more on this story. TK, those floats are always so beautiful.
They are. The Rose Parade has lost a number of floats from the regular season and sponsors this year. But in the past few months, Tournament of Roses officials say they've been working hard to make up for the losses. At this point, they are down 2 floats from last year, and some cities make sacrifices and cut costs.
You'll see some changes to the Rose Parade at the start of the new year. As cities tighten their belts in this economic downturn, some have started dropping out, including Long Beach, which has featured a float in the parade for the past 90 years. West Covina followed suit. Glendale almost did, but private donors raised $100,000 for the city to continue its 98-year tradition. Tournament of Roses Association President Rick Jackson says he understands why some cities may not be able to participate.
So yes, the economy has affected our mix, but at the same time, and to your question, the beat goes on. We've been doing this for 123 years, and there have been numerous upturns and downturns in the economy during that time.
Understands why some cities may not be able to participate. The parade lost 11 sponsors who had floats last year, and organizers could only replace 6 of those sponsors this year. 45 floats will make their way through Pasadena this New Year's Day. Volunteers will decorate many of them with living plants and flowers at one of the local float building locations, including the 30-year-old Phoenix Decorating Company. Phoenix President Chris Lofthouse says the bad economy has meant some changes to the way they are making their floats this time around.
Clients are coming into the parade for different reasons. We've had some cities that are suffering financially and have cut some budgets, and we are getting very creative with design and working within the budgets of some of those folks who are not being able to have the same budgets that they've had in the past.
A Rose Association spokesperson said the downturn in the economy hasn't affected the Rose Parade financially, even though one major decorating company, Charisma Floats, has closed their doors.
When I first heard that Charisma was going out of business, I was very sad. They've been a longtime member of the family. Matt and Katie Rodriguez were well known to the Tournament of Roses organization, so we were very sad.
Jackson says the Tournament of Roses has survived tough economies in the past and is still going strong as the Rose Parade approaches its 123rd year.
There have been numerous upturns and downturns in the economy during that time, and we're still here kicking and putting on great parades.
Okay. Now, Rose Queen Drew Washington and the 6 princesses of the Rose Court will reign over the parade with J.R. Martinez. You remember seeing him on Dancing with the Stars as the Grand Marshal. Following the parade, of course, will be the 98th Rose Bowl game at the world-famous Rose Bowl with competing teams Oregon Ducks and Wisconsin Badgers. Tami, back to you.
All right. You know, Wisconsin always makes a trip down here, it seems like. Thank you so much for that report.
No problem.
Appreciate it, TK. And no matter what, of course, the Rose Parade is still an amazing event. The 123rd Tournament of Roses Parade with the theme Just Imagine will take place Monday, January 2nd at 8 a.m. And we are still recovering from those windstorms. Now rain on top of it. What's next? Dare I ask? CCN's meteorologist Curtis Peak is here live to tell us what else we have in store. Hi, Curtis.
Well, this is what we've had in store. This is what we have in store. It's been a crazy couple of weeks here. We've had those hurricane-type winds that came through, knocked down a lot of trees. Now we do have rain. And please be careful out there right now because they are trying to move that debris to the side. And as they are doing that, they are pushing it to the side. The drains are getting clogged. And we are going to see more rain overnight. So the rain will not be able to run off as quickly as it normally does. So please be careful out there driving. So what we have right now, we have this counterclockwise rotation that's sitting here that's coming on the coast. And this is the storm right here that's going to come in tonight. We're going to see most of our rain overnight. So please be careful out there. It is going to begin to taper off by tomorrow afternoon. So this is what's happening right now. That counterclockwise rotation, the storm is going to come in overnight, but we are going to see a clear afternoon tomorrow. As we take a look at our almanac right now, we have 55 degrees was our high today. Low tonight is 45 degrees. As you can see, we are well below normal. The rain tapers off on Tuesday. Pasadena, since 6 o'clock this morning, we have seen about 1/4 of an inch of rain. But over the weekend, we are going to see cool and dry conditions. So as we do progress until tomorrow, things are going to clear out tomorrow afternoon. Sun should come back out, begin to shine. Wednesday, nice day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, temperatures will stay below normal. As we take a look at outside right now, we have 49 degrees. Our sunrise tomorrow morning is going to be at 6:49. Our sunset tomorrow afternoon at 4:43. Our winds are out of the east at 7 miles per hour. Overnight lows right now. You see everything is in the 40s. Monrovia is coming at 45. Arcadia 43. Alhambra and Monterey Park both respectively coming in at 44 degrees. Highs tomorrow. On the chilly side, look at Pasadena, only 59 degrees, which is going to be our cool spot along with Arcadia. Our 7-day forecast is showing us right now. As I said, tomorrow, on Tuesday, the rain does continue. It is going to begin to taper off on tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday, the sun comes out. We do warm up a few degrees, 62 degrees. Thursday, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, 65 degrees. And on Friday, we do go back down a little bit on 61. Saturday and Sunday, cool and dry weekend. Monday, things begin to warm back up a little bit. But as we see, we have 40s across the board overnight. So as I said, if you are driving around tonight, we are going to get most of this rain tonight. Be careful out there because if you're coming up Los Robles, I was coming up there on my way to the studio. They're pushing that debris to the side. So we haven't seen the bulk of this rain. We're going to see it overnight.
Yeah, well, we're lucky. It could be snowing like it is in Big Bear and those places. True. Thank you for that, Curtis. Appreciate it. Some locals get together to write letters about prisoners, and a local food bank celebrates 1 year. That's coming up next on CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood. We'll be right back. If your child is getting behind in school and needs help organizing, reading, writing, or studying, Klein's Classes can help. Audrey Klein has been teaching for more than 20 years. Her book, Skills for Student Success, can teach your child essential learning tools. Klein's Classes are affordable and conveniently available online. You can view the lessons and educational films anytime.
I've seen children jump 2 reading levels in 1 year. I've proven it over and over again.
Don't let another semester pass without getting your child some help. Visit kleinsclasses.com and get started today. Every year, activists all over the world celebrate Human Rights Day. The United Nations formed this event in 1948, and it continues to be a cause for action. Pasadena local Amnesty International Group 22 celebrated the event Saturday. They held a write-a-thon, which they hope brings awareness to forgotten prisoners. CCN's Lily Nuno was there and has this story.
Officials in Azerbaijan arrested this youth activist in March for using Facebook to call for protests this past March. Local Amnesty International Group 22 members want him and many other prisoners released. Members and activists gathered here at Zypher Cafe to observe the United Nations 63rd Annual Human Rights Day this Saturday. The yearly write-a-thon is a 7-hour effort to raise awareness about what the group considers to be injustices all over the world. Kai Lawson says she hasn't been very active lately, but still believes the group's mission is worthwhile.
Because I had stopped for a while, and then there's so much problems in the world and so much, political unrest. People are being imprisoned, just because of their beliefs or sex, origin, or race, or whatever. And I just can't sit back and while all this is going on, you feel like you're going to do something, even if you just write a letter.
Group 22 is one of the many local branches of Amnesty International. Besides worldwide prisoner actions, the group also fights against the death penalty, to close Guantanamo Bay, and in favor of lesbian, gay, and transgender issues here in the U.S. Co-coordinator Lucas Camp says officials have responded to Group 22's letters and that they've made an impact.
It's been documented a number of times that prison officials who have been overwhelmed by huge amounts of letters they get for our prisoners start treating the prisoners better because of the attention they know it's getting.
Group 22 is both a registered student organization at Caltech and a local community group for the Pasadena area. The group also participates in the annual Doodah Parade. One Caltech student says her first time with the group has been positive.
I've been involved on my own with writing urgent action letters for Amnesty International for a few years, so I thought it made sense to join a local group to have a sense of social support for this, because it's very easy to fall behind when I'm just doing it on my own, like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then it just gets pushed back until it's no longer relevant.
To learn more about the write-a-thon, you can visit the Caltech website or crowncitynews.com. Moving on, the Pasadena United Food Bank celebrated 1 year helping feed the homeless and hungry this past Wednesday. Founded in 2010 by Robin Salzer and Walt Jackson, the privately funded volunteer-based program connects restaurants who have extra food to donate with people who are struggling to find a hot meal. Its Wednesday night hot meal program serves about 175 people a week, and CCN's Luna Petty was there this past week.
I'm at the Jackie Robinson Center in Pasadena, where Robin Salzer and Walt Jackson are celebrating their 1-year anniversary of feeding the hungry and the homeless. Walt, please tell us what inspired you to start this a year ago today.
I've always had a desire to help those that I think is in need. And it's something I love doing, and I'm good at it. So I just something I enjoy doing. Glad I met Robin about 20 years ago. And he's just a blessing to see people come together and have a good time. And something I love doing. And I just want to keep doing it. Okay?
And what does it take to put this on every week?
It takes an effort. We have to go pick up the food, prepare it. I picked it up and drive it from Robin Restaurant to Jackie Robinson. Then we got some young people to help us unload it. And they prepare the tables and set it out. Tell people to come on and sit down and have a good meal.
And people really do enjoy it and definitely appreciate it. We're here with Robert Jenkins, who's been here at least a dozen times. Robert, tell us, what does it mean to you?
It just makes me feel like I'm a part of a community that does care about the homeless people. And I want to thank Walt Jackson for his effort in helping those less than fortunate and those in need. Because where I'm from, they don't really cater to the homeless people. And here in Pasadena, I feel like I'm in a community that does care about the less fortunate. They want to help the homeless people not to stay homeless, but to get into some better way of living. And I just feel like I'm in a community of love and understanding, and I feel accepted here.
And definitely we see at least 200 people on a weekly basis come here to be fed. And tonight they had an extra special gift of blankets to go along with their full tummies. In Pasadena, Luna Petty, CCN. How do you guys feel about that one?
That sounds better.
I think that one was good.
And the food bank serves the needy every Wednesday night from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Jackie Robinson Center. For more information about that, you can check them out and visit their website at PasadenaFoodBank.org. We're going to go straight into CCN Sports right now. CCN's it's postseason for prep football, and CCN's Hira Romero joins us live with the news. Wow, it was an exciting game, Hira.
Yeah.
I was watching those highlights that you put together. It's amazing.
Yeah,
those guys are good.
As you know, championship games bring a ton of hype and excitement, and you know their supporters definitely came out.
Yeah, those kids really got into it.
San Gabriel and Monrovia. The bleachers were crowded with supporters dressed in green for the home team and blue for the visitor side, which called for the 2011 CIF Southern Section Mid-Valley Division Championship game between the San Gabriel Matadors and reigning CIF champs Monrovia Wildcats. The Matadors entered the field with fighting spirit, and Wildcats brought their previous champ mode energy. Will San Gabriel shock the world and seize the moment, or will Monrovia remain back-to-back CIF championships? Wildcats fiercely moved the ball and set the tone with Marquise Baez, who took charge and gunned it to the end zone. Matadors fought back with a successful touchdown from number 1, Alex Villalobos, and added a 2-point conversion to the scoreboard that placed them ahead of the Cats 8-7 with 6:40 in the second quarter. Monrovia quickly returned for their second TD of the evening to reclaim the lead 14-8. The Matadors retaliated with a second trip to the Promised Land for a 14-14 tie with only a minute and 6 seconds remaining in the second. Many people predicted a blowout, but it wasn't the case for the Matador mission in the first half. It was a downhill slope from San Gabriel in the second half as Monrovia returned with fearless energy. Wildcats continued executing endless trips to the end zone, followed by a Luke Williams interception that sealed the W for Monrovia. The Wildcats ultimately dominated as the clock grew thin with the final score of 53-14. Monrovia remained victorious and sit on the throne as the CIF Southern Section Mid-Valley Division champs. Cheers to Monrovia star running back Marquise Baez for playing an outstanding game. Your other high school football scores include Rio Hondo Prep, who defeated Desert Christian 34-13 for the Northeast Division title, and West Covina hoists the Southeast title over Lucerna 84-21.
Awesome. Oh, I love CCN Sports. Thank you so much for that report, Hira. And that is it for tonight's newscast. Thanks so much to Dave Ford with Southern California Edison for joining us live in studio. Thanks also to all of our sponsors, including Southern California Edison and Wink Marketing, the Pasadena Enterprise Center office building on North Lake in Pasadena with available office space. And thanks also to the CCN crew. You all make this show possible. Thank you so much, even when we come running in at the last second. Finally, we thank you for watching CCN Crown City News. Join us each week as we cover the news in Pasadena and the San Gabriel Valley. For all of us here at CCN, I'm Tami DeVine. Have a great week. The CCN Energy Saver is brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Hi, I'm Luna Petty with your CCN Energy Saver. I'm here with Southern California Edison's Dave Ford. Dave, what can you tell your customers about holiday lights this season?
You know, it's a real pleasure to see you again. I'm glad to share some information for our customers. Well, let me share this first. When purchasing lamps, we want to make sure decorative lamps that they purchase LED Energy Star rated lamps. These lamps reduced amount of energy and consumption that a customer will use, and they also are safe to operate and they don't put out as much heat.
Okay, what tips do you have for your customers who are interested in hanging lights?
Well, we certainly don't want our customers to be hanging lamps outside, around their house or near trees that power lines may exist in. We recommend that you at least be beyond 10 feet of a power line when you're making these types of installations around your house during the holiday season.
Thank you, Dave. This has been Luna Petty with your CCN Energy Saver.
The CCN Energy Saver has been brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Hi, I'm Lori Webster. I'm the owner of Webster's Fine Stationers.
Hi, I'm Scott Webster.
You need to come and check us out because we've got great gifts for everybody in the family.
We have Fine Stationers by Cranes and Company.
We have some beautiful greeting cards, things that are unique.
A myriad of other things, so please come by.
And our phone number is area code 626-797-1135. And we're located at 2450 North Lake Avenue, Suite B in Altadena. Our motto is, let's do something good today.